Okay. Let's see. Okay, we're live now, so it's all yours, Colin.
All right. Welcome to the Oakland Poetry Slam. We are here every third Tuesday with the dopest poetry in the Bay Area. Tonight, we have a really special show with an amazing feature. But before we get to our show, we would like to thank everybody who supported our show. So today's show is brought to you by our support from our generous patrons. Over at Patreon and viewers like you, this show has been super rewarding and still has to abide by the merciless rules of capitalism. Every contribution given to us helps Rich Oak plan and budget to ensure that we are paying our featuring artists, supporting local fledgling writers, and providing a space for the East Bay community to enjoy art. So we would like to thank our patrons, Alice Grimm, let's start off with Juan Madrigal, Fiona Mazel, and Artie Maffa. We have a few more that aren't on this list who will get a shout out next show. But a special thanks to Alice Grimm, who is specifically donating $100 a month to support the Alan Bluford Center. If you would like to support the spaces, the specific spaces that are in the Bay Area, donate $100 a month, and it really does help go a long way. If you enjoy what you love, what you are seeing, or just love the arts, or believe in reparations and the liberation of third world people, head over to patreon.com/richoakevents. There you can sign up for different tiers of support. Any contribution you give us helps meet our goals, pay our venues, and give back to our communities. If this interests you, please head over to patreon.com/richoakevents. Or you can donate to us via Cash App at Rich Oak Events or Venmo at Rich Oak Slam. So thank you for your support. And now let's get on to our show. So today we have the poets, Ashia, Ali, Scriptures Raw, and Reggie. But before we get to the show, we have some rules for everybody. Poets, your rules: no props, no costumes, no musical accompaniment, no nudity, not even on Zoom. We don't want to see your genitals, just your poetry. But most importantly, we have a time limit of 3 minutes and 10 seconds. After 3 minutes and 10 seconds, you will be deducted points by our scorekeeper, Tino. After 4 minutes, we don't have a DJ, so you're not going to get played off stage like at our performance. We're just going to mute the hell out of you. So if you notice that, everybody, like the host is now talking and you're no longer spotlighted and you check and your mic is muted, is because you're long-winded. Your poetry, amazing. Your break control, impressive. But we need to get on to the rest of our show. Judges, we have rules for you. We have 5 random judges. Who will score the poets from 0.0 to 10.0. A 0.0 is the absolute worst piece of shit you have ever heard in your life. It is not something you would wipe your ass with. You would grab something to wipe your ass with, to wipe your ass from it. This is something that really speaks to everything that is evil in the world. And thus you would kill it with fire. A 10.0 is the best thing you have ever seen in the world. It paid your mama's rent. It got you a brand new car. You got $100 million that you put in savings. You spread it out to the community and building generational wealth, only to break down the systems of capitalism that destroy us all. And that's just an 8.9. So therefore, there aren't many zeros, there aren't many 10s, score accordingly. We have a sacrifice that will go first. They are not part of the slam. However, you will judge them as if they are in the slam. Anybody you like more, score them higher. Anybody you like, score them lower. But the one thing that we do ask, stay consistent. We have this thing called score creep, where as the night goes on, if you like me, you might be drinking, you might be smoking, and we know in your house. And the poetry starts to sound better at the end of the night. But we just ask that you stay consistent and give the first poet who goes up the same chance as the last poet who goes up. So maybe writing the score that you gave the sacrifice into the corner just to remind you of what your calibration was. Audience, we got rules for you too. Number 1, pull out your cell phones. And because you are in the comfort of your own home, you do not have to turn those motherfuckers off. However, please like, share, and subscribe to our Instagram, our Twitter at Rich Oak Alchemy and at the Oakland Slam, and Facebook at the Oakland Slam and Wide Open Mic and at Rich Oak Alchemy Slam. Comment on our videos. Let these poets know how much you feel these poems. For those of y'all watching at home, show the love in the comment section. Let us know what your favorite lines is. Snap, put praise hands, fire emojis. Let these poets know how much you fuck with them. But also know that this is a freedom of speech zone, which means that poets can come up here and say whatever the fuck they want, but freedom of speech does not mean freedom from accountability. So poets, you are responsible for what the fuck you just said. If you hear something you don't like, let them know. Have those conversations. Facilitate those. We are here to learn from each other, but we can't learn from each other if we don't talk to each other, and we won't feel comfortable talking to each other if we don't feel like we can speak our minds. But be ready for someone else to speak their minds. All right, now that we got that going, are we ready to start the show? Let's go. I think we are ready to start the show. No, wait, we need our sacrifice, someone to get us ready for poetry. So in the comments section, if y'all could just spam spill the blood, give it up for our first sacrifice of the night, Colin Edmonds. Woo, yeah, audience applause. Just kidding, it's me. I'm from a cemetery where the dirt is filled with lead and flesh. Empty midnight streets echo the voice of a boy whose face you can't quite remember. I mean, I've forgotten what my childhood friend looks like. His name becomes too hard to pronounce, only being able to place singular features on the faces of his family members, like how his brother got the same eyes, his mother got the same nose and smile, his cousin caught the same bullet. I'm telling you, I see ghosts in the face of the living. I hear them cackling in empty hallways. Their laughter sounds a lot like stray bullets and shattered glass. When he died, we planted this tree in his honor at our high school. And now his legacy has withered into the soil, a patch of dirt resembling a tombstone. Have you ever watched someone die twice? Watched as your last memories of them turn to ask and get lost in the wind? How do you mourn something so easily blown away? Now, even his name rots in the back of my throat. Some days, memories are the only thing keeping him alive. Other days, I count the forgotten times as another death. I've learned that forgetting is not the same as mourning. Mourning is forcing yourself to remember the lines on their face, the inflection in his voice, the way his smile could light up an entire basketball court. Mourning is to learn to say his name and refuse to dig another grave on your tongue. Woo! Everybody give it up for our sacrifice. Judges, if you could send Tino your scores. Put them up, 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 put them up. Check out our normal events in person to know what the fuck that means.
Is Tino Oakland Slam?
Tino, no, Tino is Tino.
Oh, you scroll down.
Yeah, you gotta scroll down. Poets, when I say on deck, that means you are not coming up now. That means you are next in line, so get ready. So on deck, we have Ali, but give it up to our actual first person in this slam. Give maximum love to Ashia. Woo!
You have the floor.
A chismosa is a gossip, often used to describe nosy people, women specifically, who simply enjoy the exchange, processing, and creation of new information. Also known as a magpie, also known as a chatterbox, also known as a bitch, cunt, loudmouth. The roots of the English word for gossip are god and sib, originally meaning godparent, originally meaning someone not within the nuclear family who took an interest in your upbringing and personal development, originally meaning spiritual guide, protector, and mentor, I was birthed into a circle of gossips. Raised by chismosas, this is how I learned safety. In my neighborhood, someone knows where you are at all times, what you're doing, what you're supposed to be doing, and your mama's contact information. Before cell phones, we spent our childhoods dodging Miss Shirley's watchful eye, crowded in the kitchen pretending not to listen to grown folks' business, soaking up all the tea spilled over afternoon cafecitos. This is how we earned hood scholarship. News passes around the neighborhood faster than it can come into existence. Be careful with your business. Nothing gets past an old Black lady with too much time on her hands and too much church in her spirit. Did you know Dee's husband got shot on the corner of Federal and 24th? Ernesto beat his wife within an inch of her life. She stuffs crumpled dollar bills in the couch cushions now. The city came and swept up the memorial for those 5 missing girls. Everyone thought it was some dumbass kids, but no, the state doesn't like our grief to be displayed in the open. Pam died and the bank immediately seized her property. How could they be so cruel? This world takes from us in too many ways. You'd think our entire existence is being foreclosed on. During the early days of this new blood-drenched nation, slave owners would put a muzzle made of leather and metal on enslaved females, a device that would lacerate the tongue if they dared speak. The fear of a woman's word so ingrained they had to pluck it away at the root. Fast forward 400 years and we done got too mouthy now. Funny how we speak like we got something worth saying. Muzzles have turned into rope, have turned into bullets, have turned into missing persons reports, bled into dust. This white hand be the death of my kinfolk, passing off chisme as mindless dribble. We keep alive past histories the nation state would rather we forget. At least we have our tongues. At least I have my loud mouth and I will use it whenever I damn well please. I grew up honoring gossip as sacrament. I'm an open heart, ready to take in the Lord's body and all the wisdom dropped in between the tracks of so ordained development. White America takes Black and brown speech and makes it animal, unintelligible, says your voice doesn't matter here, says I don't believe you, asks where's your proof, says it must not be that bad, calls you savage for speaking your mind, says shut up you Black bitch, says bring back the muzzle, says why won't you just be quiet? When you call me a chismosa, I say I am keeping my people safe the best way I know how. I am dark and alive and alive and alive, and as long as I have this breath, I will use it.
All right, give maximum love to the poet leaving the stage. Judges, send your score. Oh, am I still muted? Judges, send your scores to Tino. Tino, can you send me the scores for the sacrifice? Okay. So our sacrifice, Colin got a 27.7. Wow. So let them know in the chat how you feel about those scores. All right. But if you like anything you have heard so far, and you are just like, damn, I'm inspired. I want to do this writing and poetry shit, but you don't know when to do this writing and poetry shit. Check us out every first and third Saturday before Rich Oak Alchemy. We have a writing workshop. So follow at Rich Oak Alchemy for more details about that. Before Oakland Slam, we also have a workshop every third Tuesday. So those are 2 places where you can check in, have guided writing prompts, deconstruction of other people's writing, and a place to get your ideas on paper and share work with other artists. So if that interests you, definitely follow up with us, ask us questions about where you can find more information about that. But without further ado, let's get to the rest of our slam. On deck, we have Scriptures Raw, but coming up right now, give maximum love to Ali.
You have the floor.
I know this poet.
I've forgotten what it feels like to experience my trauma in the dark. Tonight, I've chosen a stage light, chosen to bleed myself out in front of you for pleasure or entertainment or another 10 on the scoreboard. My trauma says a rape poem rolls off the tongue like my own name. It's easy to distance myself here. My trauma says this happened to none of us, and yet all of us write the same poem. Intro, he didn't seem like that kind of guy. Metaphor, something about the ocean, line, repeat until finished. It stands to reason that if I slam enough doors, I will make a Grand Slam final. Yes, my trauma says it is a ticket to the big time, so what should I be if not thankful to him? If this is what is expected of my art, is it not just another process? Is it not just another tool? My trauma lives in my pen case. It's rocked to sleep in my notebook. I press the memory of what happened to my chest every day. I want to write about healing for a change, but these monsters on the page can't be quiet. They scream louder, so I scream louder. With a mic in hand, and the girl I was comes out, remembers to breathe again. In the hush of a crowd, when I line break in live space, she finds her voice, wills her lungs to inflate and shake, and the shake of it corners the words at knife point. I paint delicate memories of the crush of his body, using rose-colored glasses to hide the gore like 1,000 ink pens caught in my hair. And you all scream, "Go in, poet." Poet has been in it, has felt the roar, not of the crowd this time. Today, it is the pounding of my own pulse. It is the dryness of my throat when I can't stop looking over my shoulder. Poet has faced rabid dog, kind of nightmare, no wonder. It is a stage that has taught me the strength of tooth and nail, mouth foaming to beat back bile. I fill chapbook pages with bloodstains that look best coming through a PA system. My trauma says, this is talk therapy. My trauma says I heal a little more every time.
Give it up for the poet. Show love in the comment section. Gang, 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 gang. All right, judges, send your scores to Tino. Let them know how you feel about the last poet, though. The last poet, Ashia, got a score of a 29.4. Give it up for the poet, but not the scores. But let's keep it right on going. On deck, we have our last poet of the first round, Reggie. We're coming up to the stage right now. Give maximum love to Scriptures Raw.
Hear me well?
Yes, we can hear you. You have the floor.
All right. It wasn't it. It wasn't me. It wasn't who I was supposed to be. So stop trying to tell me that destruction is my destiny, because the circumstances of my life wasn't always the results of me. That's not a rejection of responsibility. I take full responsibility for my actions. Just realize that my actions were the consequences of adaptation. Adapted behavior, adapted to make it in a society that was rife with oppression. And my skin complexion made it no better. My skin complexion meant a fight. Had to fight twice as hard because I was black, 3 times as hard because I was black, 4 times as hard because I was a black child not athletically gifted that had dreams realistically to be manifested. Mansions, bank accounts on plenty, lures to set my mother free and give my grandmother all that she ever wanted. Lady J, my grandmother, my non-birth mother who only wanted me for to be is all that I could be, but all that I could be was a pain in the ass and a headache that had deeper roots than me being a troubled kid because of my father being absent or my mother in prison. Nah, see, my problems were rooted deep in the system before she and her mother's mother. I'm talking about generations further, like when our ancestors were stolen, broken, shipped over an ocean to a land sort of foreign, stripped of our identity, who I was supposed to be, not this 3/5 of a being. Was I supposed to be a king? King of a Cushite crown, or even a righteous advisor? I guess we may never know. But that I was, it wasn't it. It wasn't me. It wasn't who I was supposed to be. So a burning bush ignited within. Rise, the sheer voice said. Rise up out of the depths of whatever land you stand. It's yours. You were made from it. And from beyond here, iron was sit, cast into earth's clay pit. With flames ablaze, the molding took place, and that's when Ogun was shaped. It was presented like this for the minds to understand, and reality was one sound emitted. Kum fayakun, meaning be, and it is, and I realized just who I am. See, our story's been told on every land, no folk, the lion that fell, 1 of 12, 12 tribes, 12 disciples, 12 imams, Jews, Christians, Muslims. This is who we are, but the fall covers and we forget it. Then the blacksmith within shapes the iron within, creating weapons for our protection. It was hot iron turned into hot iron, then these hot iron turned to these bracelets. But since I am Ogun, the blacksmith of tools, these shackles are not my enslavement. It's the truth of I being made as lies, and realization will shatter that matrix. Once the truth of I is realized, that it wasn't how I was created, the truths equated over our enslavement disperses from God's creation. So that I was, it wasn't it. It wasn't me. It wasn't who I was supposed to be. That's what it is.
All right, give it up for Scriptures Raw. All right, and judges, send your scores to Tino. All right, and our last poet, Ali, got a 26.6. Let them know how you feel in the comment section. But as always, we care about the poetry, not the poems. So, all right, moving right along, because I am eager to get to this feature. It's going to be amazing. If you know who this feature is, sound out in the comment section. If you don't know, get ready to learn today. But on deck, we have our feature, Joyce Lee. But coming up to the stage, give maximum love for Reggie.
Floor is yours.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Perfect. A hood nigga's dissertation on colorism. Fuck your nuance. Some of y'all light-skinned niggas get on my goddamn nerves. Something about constantly needing validation from Blackness while simultaneously distancing yourself from everything that reminds you of it screams, bitch, you can't actually sit with us. Like, it's hard to be seen when these Martin Luther Cream, Talcum X, Rachel Dolezal ass bitches are taking up all the space, absorbing all the light, speaking with my voice while I disappear into the background of my own oppression, and you complain that you can't say nigga without your grandmother's racism threatening to crawl from your throat, while I, an actual nigga, am literally dying on your mismatched tongue. And if Jesus is in fact a Black man, he must be a light-skinned nigga too, because that's just like a light-skinned nigga, to be instrument and evidence of death and still be praised, still be worn around a white man's neck, a symbol of peace or diversity. We niggas be the first ones to pray for you and the last ones to be in your prayers. You say, God bless the white man. God bless the wolf. God bless the sheep's clothing, but never the niggas, never the herd, never the skin you strip bare off our bones just to convince us that you belong here. You got the acting skills of a middle school play. You shuck and jive and then call it code switching. You fuck a white man and say hashtag goals, hashtag post-racial America, hashtag I am the poster child for what we all expect niggas to be, and it must be so nice to look so much like the oppressor you forget about the noose waiting for you around the corner. You ungrateful ass house niggas. You forget the fields that birth you. Forget the masters still make you sleep in the barn when you done riding his dick like that. Still growl a hard R through his teeth just to taste your blood between them. You forget your grandparents were on two different ends of the fire hose. Two different sides of the sit-in, sides of a history you claim to know so well. You flip-flop motherfuckers. You unreliable assholes. You chocolate and vanilla swirl-faced niggas. Do you know how quickly they will turn on you? How they will sell a Black body just to make a fast dollar? Whiteness is taken just as easy as it's given, just as easy as you pass out Black cards. Let your white friends say nigga. Allow them access to a violence they already know so well. Violence that fits perfectly in the palms of their hands. So when they come for us with their rope, and their fire, and their metal, and our bones, when they chant our names like a death song in the streets, when the ground opens up to swallow us real niggas whole, they will draw your blood next. But when you call to us for help, we will remember exactly where you stood before the ashes fell. We will remind you where you were when we needed you the most.
Woo! Give it up for the poet Reggie. Judges. Give your scores to Tino, and Scriptures got a score after a time penalty. Fuck time. Time does not exist in these quarantine days. Scriptures got a 26.8 after a time penalty. Fuck the scores. Give maximum love to the poet. But before we get to the feature, I would just like to shout out, if you like any of the poetry you see here, go check out Bay Poets Unite. They have a YouTube channel, a Facebook. They are live streaming our show right now. They also live stream all the other shows in the Bay Area. So if you like any of the poets you see here, check out their videos. They have videos of poets you see tonight, poets you might have seen at maybe a show like the Berkeley Slam. Shout out to them. Or at our sister show, Rich Oak Alchemy. So if you like any of the poets you see, check out to see if they or someone else you like have a video for Bay Poets Unite. But without further ado, let's get to this kick-ass feature. If you don't know who Joyce Lee is, you about to find out. Because Joyce Lee is an explorer of emotional and physical life. Whoa, that's not the start of the bio. Joyce Lee is an international storyteller and performance poet. Her performances of her own creative nonfiction writing constantly receive standing ovations and encores of her fans and personal heroes. I love the flex. That's a whole bio. No. That's a fucking flex.
Period, though.
My poetry gets standing ovation. Fuck yeah. Joyce Lee is an explorer of emotional and physical life. She travels the world and writes, but is not a travel writer. Instead, each place she wanders, each country is allotted by her to introduce its own spirit. Joyce listens to that spirit and takes note. Sometimes the note is a memory, sometimes a story, but every time a poetic gift to her audience. She currently resides in Bogota, Colombia, with plans to move elsewhere in 2020 to complete her first novel. Whew, that's a kick-ass bio. Other notes, Joyce Lee, Bay Area legend, one of the sweetest people you will meet. Dope-ass writing workshops. If you ever have the blessing to be in a Joyce Lee workshop, pay her. Period. But I'm gonna stop doing the talking and let Joyce Lee do the poeting. So give maximum love to our amazing feature, the awesome wordsmith Joyce Lee.
Wow. Well, that is an introduction. I'm gonna have to pack you up and take you with me, Colin. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm super humbled to be here. I was humbled to be at Alchemy. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm humbled, because there is definitely a generational gap betwixt us. You know what I'm saying? So anytime, especially this honest ass generation, y'all don't like nothing. Y'all don't like nobody, nothing impresses you. So anytime I'm invited to do anything, I am grateful. I'm humble. So basically, I'm gonna say some poems until I get kicked off. Okay. All right. So this one is called Epiphany. And one day I had this epiphany. Preachers, priests, and prisoners. My mama, a lot of 13-year-olds, the people upstairs, the people under the stairs, all my girlfriends, most of my enemies, the pigeons that were fighting over the same piece of crumb, the two bees that flew into my bathroom window, my sisters, liars and cheaters, my cousins, folk who owe me money, the audience I recited poetry to last night, some of my bill collectors, and for real, the people in the apartment upstairs right now, they fucking. Everybody fucking, except us. So we keep it going. Let's see.
That was the end of that poem?
That was the end of the poem. That's how I felt. That was my epiphany. That everybody was fucking except me and the person I was with. Okay. Love will teach you many things if you allow, like taxes. It'll let you know who been living with you and who been living off you. I never been one for love stories. The chase is an easier route because I can stop and take a break at any time. But love, even though it's an unpaid teacher, it don't sleep, slumber, or break. And love will make you do its dance. You'll be up laughing or crying all night when love is through with you. You'll have a smile or a tear, but either way, you'll be up all night. Love ain't nothing but another reason to wait for the sun to rise. And I'll keep going, keep going, keep going. I'm reading to you guys from my book, my first book, My Soul is a Witness. I'm gonna get to the other one. Yeah.
It's a beautiful book.
It's my first book, My Soul is a Witness. Oh, Reggie and Colin, you'll like this one. It's called On Rats and Others. In Germany, I was told that it is unwise for me to rid of uneaten collard greens by way of the toilet, even though this is the quicker way to dispose of them back home in Oakland. They'll go straight to the sewer, the young man warned. Well, yes, I mocked. They'll feed the rats, he retorted. And so what if the rats eat? I debated. Well, the rats will eat with or without your addition. They will survive by any means, but you will feed them strong until big, until bold enough to trace the trail of food with claws, nourished with the fuel your belly missed, and now durable and determined to climb to the entrance of the toilet in search of the food source, but instead maybe finding your ass. And what rat is decided that can decide loyalty or flesh from garbage? To the rat, another bite is just another breath, and his next breath is only as far as he is able to see. Do you understand? Yes, I said. Oakland has always had a rat problem too. So here's another one. Get a little Black women say yes. There is an unaddressed epidemic killing Black women more than AIDS and men combined. It's genetic, passed down from the fat in Mammy's smile, and continues to birth rapists and call them son. It feeds vultures even after our cupboards are bare, and preys on a culture that tells us codependent women are more desirable than independent ones. Black women say yes till it kills everything in us, till we sacrifice our all and only. We say yes with tears begging for thank yous that flip us off and sell our food stamps, and we still say yes to husbands who bully, to mothers and mother-in-laws who won't change, to supervisors who ain't fit to buff our toenails, to kids who don't know what's really going on and still cry, where's my daddy, to friends who borrow so hard they swear our sweater is theirs. We've said yes to every kind of abuse, and we keep smiling like Jesus see it all. And we're so used up through and through, we know if a crown ain't came, it ain't coming. But we let folks promise us promises anyway. And we cry at night when all the bills are due. And we're left with only one finger to count the amount of folks who call to see if we need anything. Okay, I'm gonna go to my other book. Dancing in the Presence of Men is my most recent book, and it's about love and lovers and grief and all this other grown woman stuff.
Joyce, how much is it?
Both books are $15, and you can find both of them. You can find Dancing in the Presence of Men on Amazon. So they're both $15. Unless you get them on Kindle, then they're like $9.99.
We know y'all stimulus checks came in. Buy Joyce's books.
Can I have some of it? You know.
She just want to claim your kids.
I can't. You guys are too much. Okay. This one's called The Survivor's Guide to Listening. Most of the time, I just remember Nita singing of the same sweet love that the women in my family could never seem to get in return. Freddie Jackson meant there was an adult party and that us kids should stay in our room, and Jamaica Funk meant we'd have to wait until their liquor kicked in real good before coming out. Johnny Taylor meant the women were empowered and the house could be shared equally in celebration of fuck that motherfucker. Betty Wright meant I'd only better come out ready to sing along well enough to give every woman in that house hope, and I usually did. I knew my mother was in love again when the house smelled like Clorox, Pine Sol, and incense. I knew things were serious between her and a new man when every morning smelled like crackling sausage, fresh bread, and grits. I could hear how many meals I needed to deny in the depths of my mother's silence as she listened to one of her sister's worries. If you hang around me long enough, you will notice that I have a habit of asking for nothing and cleaning more than I soiled and apologizing for existing first thing in the morning, apologizing for interrupting your eyesight. If you hang around me long enough, you will notice that I have a habit of eating once per day or less. Blame my weird nature on my family's welcome. Blame it on how they put me in the habit of listening and making room for others. Let's keep going. Oh God, sorry. Okay. Going. I was gonna read you guys a story, but all my stories are about fucking. So,
Read a story.
Because the guy said this is live, and one of the guys that the story is about, you know, I got fears. I got real life fears because, you know what I'm saying? My shit's descript. Okay. While in vigilant search for my shaving razor, which I envisioned finding the spare sharp blades wrapped in hard plastic to protect me from myself, I stumbled upon a single earring that I was certain I had lost many months ago. I was so sure it was gone. I mourned the money spent on the irreplaceable 24-karat California rose gold design that once matched most perfectly with my wedding ring. At the immediate absence of the one missing jewel, I blamed myself instead of doing the work of vigilant searching. For fear of disappointment and wasting more time laboring over anything else that could be so easily lost. So many other earrings I denied myself as punishment for losing one of the pair. I'm not wasting my money again. My grief would interrupt the moment another expensive pair requested a chance to be mine too. All of this time, and nothing was ever lost. All of the tiny pleasures denied over blame in fear of searching for something that may hurt if the time spent seeking it had only led to seeking. Interesting how I was more confident, as though it is my lot and fate to search and find the razor and never the lost jewel. Keep it going. How much time I got?
Got about 10 more minutes.
Go.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote this one after a horrible date. Translation is everything. Trust or bust is always in the translation. He asks what I need with his dick in his smile's hand, and I only share my body with humans who see me as human. His entitlement translates my every word to mean sex with him. immediately. All of a sudden, he refers to me in pieces that exist for his pleasure only. Each part of my body he cites is dissected and detached at the dining table before us and served over drinks. He even calls my look of thorough and utter disgust, my obvious silent boil, sexy. He has translated himself into lower than nothing and is too full to feel the atmosphere mutating him into nothing more. Keep going. His clothes were always as clean as the house, as together as the kids, as good as the meals, as strong as the prayers, as sincere as the smile that greeted him at the front door every night, adorned in new negligees, as fragile as his ego, as thick as my will to be a really good woman to him, only him. And he translated my love language into my slavery. I did all that smiling just to beg and frown. When I see a young woman in love and arguing with her beloved, her eyebrows furrowed, lips cinched, her solution, anything but leave, I become desirous. I wish my forgiveness was young. Wish I had hope in men. I wish that hopefulness excited me to groom to perfection, to laugh for his laughter, to smile, to ease his insecurities. Instead, my hope in men is gray and bedridden. And my forgiveness is cremated ashes on a shelf in my father's house that I have yet to face. One mistake will cost you me. I wish I cared enough to argue. I wish my love had that much life. Let me get a little water since I got 10 whole damn minutes. Okay. Y'all still with me? I can't with y'all. I can't.
That line, I wish I had enough energy to argue.
I'm tired, baby. I'm tired. Let's keep it going. I don't want to do that one. The Monster's Monster. I had a lover once and I loved him to pieces, but he kept trying to change me. Everything I believe everybody goes through this. I really do. Everything they say they love, eventually they want to change. Oh, I love how affectionate you are. Damn, why you always touching me? Like things, they take a turn. So I had a lover who was always trying to change me, and he reminded me of somebody. This is called The Monster's Monster. Nature was questioned, then God. But first, self. Then I was made in your image. 4 limbs from earth's 4 corners. I was human, and you did not know yourself. You created me, a beast of labor, cut deep, and stitched me, pointed at my scars, named them flaws, called yourself a genius and kind and creative, yet you could never figure what to call me, not even yours, never mine. Monster, you made me a monster. You made a monster in your image. Of all the possibilities of things to make, you made a monster so that you could fear until hate, and hate until death, and die running from what you alone created. And I cried over you until I died too. And love had nothing to do with it. I cried for separate identity. I always knew your eyes, the most powerful eyes to ever see me, were not my own. I always knew I had another name so beautiful and would never know it. I always knew I was human. I always knew my name is not, never was, or will ever be Frankenstein. That name is and always will be yours. And keep going, keep going, keep going. I do not remember the day my intuition was born, just the pull and wrestle against my mother's guidance, and its worried nails sinking into my flesh, her frantic and wild eyes in response to my every no. I severed her opinion's tongue with care, and something candid only to tie it in a box and bow it so it could be hers again, to guide another or bury. My mother is a good mother. But one day, out of nowhere, she raised a woman. And since then, I have been determined to make my own mistakes. That is a story, and that is not going in there. Let's see. I do not know you, but let me love you anyway. You do not have to trust my intentions to believe my avowal. No nuptial is needed to submit unreservedly to my touch. Please allow me devotion. I must extol love. I ache to alleviate and would love to greet you in every attempt to make love. When your fingers scuttled half of a crucifix across your chest as you commanded lick, I grew 10,000 happy tongues and my soul leapt longing for more instructions, for more blessings I can give. I do what I do not have, I will find here at the altar of your body. Allow me worship. Let me say love. Let you not run. Let us ignore all suffering which begot us into this now sanctified vulnerable. Let us lick sweat into wine. Let us feed our 5,000 busted and famished cores with 2 bodies and 5 senses that boldly touch and agree. Salvation has no respect of history. Heaven does not withhold for genealogy's sake. Consequently, I do not have to know you to say love. Just as love requires no decree to make itself, allow me to make love to you. Allow my tongue to circle around your power for 6 days and roar on the 7th. Let us witness the falling of miraculous fortifications. Allow me to make you ritual and testimony of what love can be and do when we bend for its sovereignty, when we resist and escape all laws and tradition, when we become miracles wrapped in flesh and not expectations, when we are both parched wells and jaws of asses. Let us allow love to be used and use us trust. We will not die, but be taken up suddenly by whirlwind, and the wise will follow the most exceptional supernova across the worst conditions in search of our temporary yet eternal truth. Keep it going.
Yeah, you got one more.
I got one more. This is the last one. I've been writing a lot about love because I think that's so freaking revolutionary. Love, it's what we're fighting for. It's what we all want. So I wrote this one after taking ayahuasca in the Colombian mountains. And that was deep. It was a deep trip. It was a long journey. Okay. If ever there was love and not the will for someone outside of ourselves to yield like a dog to sounds of our impromptu commands, if ever there was love and depth instead of debts, in the guilt trips of memory lane and insecure insecurities and the neediness and doubt. If the love is real, joy cannot exist amid another's captivity. If the love is honest, the observation of another's trapped eyes, the quiet of a partner's tyrannized tongue will and should humiliate us. Love is free and costs us all. Our selfishness and stunted growth and willful ignorance, love costs. Our old traditions and ways, love costs complete obedience and loyalty to it. Love is power without ego. If we want love, we must trust its sovereignty, Trust love to stay for as long as it is welcome to be free. Love does not exist to eternally serve and salve our personal feelings. I declare my only truth. Love is and does. I have only heard two stories of love. One, he, they, she introduces and all is joy. Two, he, they, she exits and all is sorrow. Love has taught me to consider both in gratitude. Oh, how grateful I am for love's coming and going, to have witnessed its step in my home, to have made love to love, have love hold me until it watched me sleep and sang of my beauty in the morning. What a blessing to argue and fight with love, for love, many a late night, to have it protect me. How rich I am to partake in the forgiveness of love, to be corrected, humbled by it, to know love enough to be its faithful advocate. How grateful I am in love's going. My sorrow is mine and mine alone. Love is free from sorrow and bends to its own will always. I am grateful to learn freedom by way of love's freedom, even if it means my transitory confusion, even at the expense of my hurt feelings. Thank y'all so much for having me. Thank you.
All right. All right, give it up one more time for our feature, Joyce Lee. That was fucking fire. I was not ready for that. We gotta pull up to one of our live events and share them stories. Where can people support you?
If you want to give to my PayPal, you know, it's always open, you know.
What's your PayPal?
I don't know. I don't know it by heart. I don't. It's like Joyce 509. But also you could just buy my book, Dancing in the Presence of Men, on Amazon. You can support that way, definitely.
Yes,
so,
yes. So check out for that book.
Please, please, please. But I'm open, you know. You can always DM me for that PayPal, because I'm open.
Joyce Lee's on Facebook and Instagram and all that.
I am. Oh, yeah. I'm at Fussbox on Instagram, FUSS_BOXX, Fussbox. I'm on Facebook all the freaking time. I'm there. Like, holla at me. I'm super approachable. Just don't approach me with no foolishness.
Y'all better not.
And then I'm super approachable. So thank y'all. Thank you, Oakland. Thank you, home.
Yes, yes. It was great to see you back. I wish it would have been in person, but it's great that we were still able to do this. Right. So now that we've had our feature, I think we should take about a 5-minute break. People to go refill on their drink, pack another bowl.
Just reminded me I need to add Hennessy to my smoothie.
Exactly. Do what you need to do. And when we get back in 5 minutes, and when I say 5 minutes, I don't mean 3 minutes. I don't mean 6 minutes. I mean 5 minutes. We will have our second round. Our second round, we have, what do we have?
Check your checklist.
I know, but what tab is that open on? Who knows?
You just closed it.
When did I close it?
Click there.
There it is.
Yeah.
Ah, there we go. We have Reggie, Scriptures Raw, Ali, and Ashia. So that will be our order for the second round. So we will take this 5 minutes, 5-minute break, and we will see you then.
Aw.
Psst, Joyce, you're not muted.
Am I laughing? What did I do?
Oh, you were muted. So
what did I say?
Oh, you just started laughing.
Oh, I'm reading something, sorry.
Are y'all about ready to start?
Yeah, because the nigga is ready for that Del Taco for real.
Right, I want my cheese fries.
I know. Y'all can make fun of me for my Del Taco all y'all.
It has part of my name in it.
But I'm enjoying it. Great job, everybody, for real. I appreciate all y'all. Because this is deep. I didn't expect y'all to be so like open, and I couldn't do it. Could not do what y'all doing right now. Because that's personal. Y'all not just talking about like, oh, this happened to me. No, you're saying this happened to me. This is how I feel about it. That's deep. Like to actually, that's literally like putting yourself on display. And so I just want to let all y'all know, just the fact that you can do that shit, y'all got superpowers. So yeah.
Because I don't like people in my business.
Exactly. I'm so secretive. You can't even. I got a journal. I got a journaling app, right? Like Char used to.
Know my middle name.
Y'all know Char. That's my sister. She keep journals and shit. I got a journal on my phone that is password protected because I can't do that shit. I'm scared somebody might find my shit and read it. So yeah, I just wanted to share that because y'all amazing. The fact that y'all can open yourselves up to the world and other people, even though you know you're going to be judged, and say, motherfucker, this is what it is. What you see is what you get. And I like that. I like that.
All right. Show that same energy in the chat. Don't let one of our judges be the only one showing love to the poets out here.
Right. Because I'm over here by myself.
Right, I got you. And encourage the poets because I want y'all to keep going, for real, all of y'all. And at the end of the chat, Reggie, if you could try to send me like everybody's contact info so I could kind of like, you know, link up with y'all, follow y'all progress and whatnot.
All right. All right. So we have another amazing round of poetry. So like I said, our list will be going as follows. Reggie, Scriptures Raw, Ali, and Ashia. Give maximum love to everybody who's reading. So are we ready to start this second round? No. we've been gone for a minute, so we need another sacrifice, someone to get y'all back in the mood of poetry. I do not know what the fuck y'all was doing on this 5-minute break. Some of y'all might have been doing some Schedule 1 controlled substances. I don't know that. So we're gonna get you back in poetry mode. So give maximum love. On deck we have Reggie, but give maximum love to the poet coming up right now, our sacrifice, Tina. Woo! Rah!
Tina, you have the floor. You are muted. You have to unmute yourself. Okay.
También de este lado hay sueños. On this side too, there are dreams. Janine Cummings. And so I should be grateful she put a brown face on a mask of an unnamed immigrant. And so I should be able to see my parents in her book, Call American Dirt a True Immigrant Story, told by a white woman, a voice for the voiceless. Here is our white woman savior. Here is her writing, galloping in to save the brown people, to upend the violence, conquer the bad hombres. Here, I ask her for a cut from her royalties to support my family, and she calls me ungrateful. Seven-figure book deals and 69,000 kids in cages later, she is still comfortable, uses her American visa to unfurl the wall for herself. When I say she's profiting from a story that does not belong to her, she calls Latinos a product of the cartel, a border, another El Dorado that is satiated with a proper pillage. I call her white noise, and she proceeds to create an abundance of static. She begins to sob and say how sorry she is. She abolished the profit. Humanize my parents. Janine hides behind her tears, the way all white women do. I tell her white women are synonymous with invasion to me, and she cries more. All white women do is embellish a narrative and cry when they're called liars. Says no one appreciates her work, but her white audience is still buying it, are quick to protect her and heckle at me. I tell her I am uncomfortable how quick she can make herself the victim. Like I haven't tried to cast my family as resilient, just to have her write them off as hopeless. And yes, I'm bitter. How all our stories survive because of us, handed down from generations, just for her to call it anthropology. How she says La Frontera, but her voice is the wall undocumented, and people have to crawl over how she can quote everything. People believe it fell from her mouth first. También de este lado hay sueños. On this side too, there are dreams. Armando Aranis Poñelo. Get it right, Janine. None of this work is yours. These aren't stories you can bleed dry, but you try anyway. Feminism so American, it's new weight imperialism. White saviors so well-meaning, I empty my pockets in exchange for my trauma. She must think this is some kind of mercy. She must think we are incapable of escaping our violence. She must think she's doing us a favor. But no one is voiceless. Not the way you claim us to be, Janine. But you aren't interested in making yourself a platform for us. So fuck your book. Here I am, ready to write you out of existence. Here is all the money you made profit off of, give it back to their people. Here, I will upend the violence. It begins with you, Janine, and exiling you from our spaces to expose you for what you are. White noise performing brown face, white woman still colonizer, white woman still violent.
Woo! Give it up for our sacrifice, Tino. Judges, send your scores to our scorekeeper, Tino. They're not the same person. Okay, maybe they're the same person. But just a recap, because I did not give Reggie scores from last round. Reggie got a 27.8. Yes. 27.8. All right. But as always, give love to the poet and not the scores. So are we ready to start the second round? Yes, we're ready to start the second round. I'm pretending to be the crowd. Woo! All right. So on deck, we have Scriptures Raw. But coming up to the stage, give maximum love to the first poet of the second round, Reggie. Woo!
You have the floor.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Perfect. When Marva says, my pronouns are nigga, I felt that shit. Cause my pronouns are nigga. My gender is a grape swisher and a 40 by noon. Is the whole hood up having a block party in front of the liquor store at 2 a.m. My gender says fuck the rules, fuck the oppressor, fuck everyone not from my block littered with binders and makeup. My gender will still fuck a bitch up without smearing my lipstick, cause my gender grew up fighting to survive. My gender knows curled fist and painted nail. Long pretty hair pulled back into a messy bun because I caught that nigga that was talking shit about me on Facebook and I told him hands on sight. My gender knows to keep its hands in sight. When walking or shopping or being stopped by the police, knows that my hashtag will always wear the wrong pronouns. My mother will always mourn a son. My gender will keep itself quiet so she doesn't lose a daughter too. My gender is the nigga that can't call itself trans because that's always been a white word. That don't sit well on a black tongue, don't get used in black conversation or seen on black television. So my gender has always had to be its own role model, creates a space just for itself. My gender is a black power fist at a pride parade. My gender says all cops are bastards. Yes, even the ones you are thinking of. Yes, even the queer ones. My gender knows exactly how many gay cops murdered black boys last year. Is a rainbow flag drenched in its own blood. My gender is first death, then a resurrection, is the unraveling of a black boy into something beautiful. My gender is graveyard and garden, is headstone and headline and head hunt and head bowed in prayer. My gender is a prayer, which means my gender must be sacred. My gender must be holy. My gender must be God, which means my gender must be a nigga. It is, after all, the blackest thing I have ever known.
Woo! Yes, applause. All right, give it up for our poet, Reggie. Woo! Audience applause. All right, so judges, send your scores to Tino. Tino, what did the last poet get?
I'm still waiting to hear back from one judge.
Judge.
That one judge, you know who you are. I don't want to call you out, but yeah. I'm gonna hold you accountable.
Tino said, I don't name drop. I just subtweet. Okay, so we'll get you, we will get you the sacrifices scores after the next poet. Make sure you're sending those scores in, judges. I'm watching you, sort of, not really. So on deck, we have Allie, but coming up to the stage right now, give maximum love to Scriptures Raw. Woo!
Have the floor.
I hate when people say shit like racism was in the past. Like slavery is a thing of the past. Now, I could sort of understand this shit when it comes from a certain white class, but from a so-called educated Negro, this shit is unacceptable. Slavery is alive right now. So let me spell it all out for you. 13th Amendment. Need I go on? This falls right in line with the racist ways of America, KKK. See, crime is how they enslave you, but a felon is what they label you, which ain't nothing but a new way of saying nigga. Yeah, nigga and felons are synonyms. Just like the percent of niggas, I mean felons, that's black. Hillary called us super predators. And it's that racist language that paved the way for it being okay to gun down unarmed black men in the streets today. See, through that amendment, slavery was passed. It never made slavery a thing of the past. Even if it had been abolished, rendering it a thing of the past is a joke, which none of my people was laughing. A thing of the past as if centuries of generations didn't record that shit in our genetic makeup. As if the traumas facing that form of slavery ain't the cause of all our goddamn problems today. Might that be the reason we've been systematically relegated to terms of negative connotations like angry black man? Goddamn right I'm angry. Look what has been systematically done, still systematically applied. Yet you can find those that ask, what's wrong with my people that they can't make it in this free land? Like a beautiful brother once stated, nothing is wrong with our people. Something has happened to our people. See, we have been tricked, hoodwinked and bamboozled, indoctrinated, raped, not fornicated, and programmed into a system that is filled with adulteration of our original spiritual teachings, blended so well it drew us out of our own true self, calling and searching for a savior to lift us up out of this shit. A savior presented by the same enslavers that viciously cracked the whip and ripped apart that beautiful melanated flesh. Seeing as I live by the law of Asar, meaning we are all one, I come to see that our relations can be categorized as quantum entanglement. What we need is a quantum detangling, then maybe, just maybe, we can posit some change within us, qualitative as we are made from it, quantitative when we raise our kids, but that will never be the state of us unless the most educated of us teaches the truth. What we have is not freedom, but for us, it is due.
Audience applause. Give maximum love to Scriptures Raw. Judges, send your scores to Tino. And speaking of Tino, our sacrifice Tino got a 26.9. Give it up for the poet and not the points. And our last poet, Reggie, got a 29.7. Give it up for the poet and not the points. Woo! All right. Oh, there's a little bit of beef going on between poets and judges in the comment section. Ooh, watch out. So before we continue, I'd like to give a shout out to some of the other shows in the Bay. We aren't the only kick-ass show. So every Monday on Instagram Live, you can follow them at Legendary Collective. It's the Santa Cruz Word Church. They do an open mic and slam out there. So I used to say they have events out there in person when we can. I used to say, oh, you're never going to be out in Santa Cruz. Now you can be out in Santa Cruz. Every person's third Saturday, our sister show, the Rich Oak Alchemy Slam. We're usually at the Allen Bluford Center for Justice, but for now, we'll be at Instagram at Rich Oak Alchemy. Check us out there every first and third Saturdays. Then there's also the Berkeley Slam every Wednesday at the Berkeley Slam on IG. They're doing a really good job facilitating not just the poetry from their platform, but they're also the ones who curate Bay Poetry Night, doing shit all over the Bay and making sure that there's a platform for our poets, our local poets, to get spotlight online and for it to be accessible. So check out all those shows if you want to see dope, amazing work. So on deck, we have Ashia. But coming up to the stage right now, give maximum love to Allie. Woo!
Floor is yours.
Which economy? Or a question for Kanye West. What exactly did you mean when you said one good girl is worth 1,000 bitches? I'm curious about the way you have named good girl and bitch dissimilar, two different currencies, and yet they are the very same coin. If you toss me in the air, where I land depends on the day, what phase the moon happens to be in, the hour, if it is happy or if it is one for witching. If my crystals are charged, I land heads. I land bitch. Heavy steps like the toes of these boots are enchanted with steel, and I'm not afraid to use them. When the hour is golden, when I am too tired and too softened to land harder, I land tails. I land good girl. More, I put makeup on today. War paint to disarm your notion that I am not aware of who you are. And what is that, if not an enchantment? Heads, I'm trying to survive. Tails, I'm trying to survive. Women have always armed themselves with things that men don't understand. We have to confuse the church in order to make it to the altar, hide our bloodletting for a swig of juice, a wafer. Good girls go to church, but bitches have their own communion. Call that bitch clique, call that coven. You see, the bitch economy is a magical thing, meant to house the magical thing that is being all of this woman. My love affair with being alone with my thoughts seeks no infatuation. What is a bitch's exchange rate? What is the current dollar value of a good girl money? Is it more efficient to pull cards in peace, play Nina loudly out of her open windows on shuffle? At what cost can you claim significance? If both good girl and bitch are in hefty supply, where does the wealth lie? This spell is for you, Kanye. This shit is home brewed. Pink salt and oregano over your shoulder in the dustpan, locks of hair in the cauldron. My witch vibes stay dark magic, dark like night and me and lipstick, baking in the oven beside ceramic pots for coconut oil dreams. This week, I have plucked poems from my hands like shards of colored glass, and I am tired. My creativity is the language of white noise and late nights, a spell for my empty apartment. I have evicted all that is not meant for my fingers to enjoy. I have welcomed the sound of the door shut with the force of a simple bye. He subscribes to Kanye's religion too. One of these albums released at the end of a hot summer trying to claim Jesus type of guys, the original feminist. I imagine that he would whip out a lash for Kanye too, defiling a temple more holy than his, this womanhood. If it is spring again, and I'm mixing slow songs into sugar water, filling the cracks the winter left with cool mint pastel versions of comfort, my pockets are filling with Riverstone promises. They weigh like the decision to try harder wood, but I still can't collect them fast enough. It's always raining, whether water or worry. My cups always overflow towards the pavement. I've always liked it best in February when the frost came away in a heavy breath. I am the same, melting into unrelenting sun. I break away in a twin cadence of effort. This is a kindred spirit. In the wet pool of brown and grass, beat it with dew. My magic and my woman are all profit.
Oh, woo! Give it up for the Poets Alley. Woo! Judges, send your scores into Tino. Tino, have you sent me the score for Scriptures Raw, their second round score?
I posted it around the thing like how you asked me to.
Oh, yeah, that's the total score. I need his individual score now.
Oh, okay.
Boom, boom, boom. Waiting on that score. I see. Scriptures Raw got a 24.4. Remember, give it up for the poet and not the points. All right, so on deck, we have finding out who the fuck won this slam. But give maximum love to the last poet of the slam. Everybody type in the chat, aww, with a little sad emoji. Give it up for Ashia. Woo!
Floor is yours.
Of course, my love. This will not be simple. Nothing about my blood returns to calm even after the storm has completed its work. So believe me when I tell you that this fury is well earned. See, I did not birth this rage, but I fed it, sheltered it, bathed my bones in this battered bloodline clothed in rage, but by God, don't black skin pop and red. You can't say that I don't wear it well. My tongue crashes against my teeth, pushes through and demands respect. I do not speak quiet. If I did, I would fade into the nothingness my stock was birthed from. The creation story of Black rage was carried in these bloated vessels across the Atlantic. My ancestors survived things worse than hurt feelings. My ancestors survived a relentless lack of love and didn't let it break them. And as such, this legacy does not suffer fools. If my attitude is unappealing to you, let me tell you a little something about the fight that drenched my grandmother's skirts in swamp mud. It has given me a voice like a sweet plum gone sour and enough lung to give you a well-deserved hell. What is it about a Black femme who speaks their mind that got these little boys shaking in their boots? White stares, blue-eyed devils rewriting me mad femme. If only they knew how my eyes could turn a grown man to stone. Yes, I am bitter, deservedly so. I covet this love because I know, as my granny knew, and as her granny's granny knew, what this world does to Black girls with two big hearts. I have known for a long time, I am not a soft love. I am the love that survives seawater and scorched earth, cracks Nazis' heads, sings hymnals at the sit-in, stirs cacao into sweetness unearned. Yes, it is true. I am loud. I scream my throat raw in public. Passivity does not come easily to me because I know what it means to be taken for a ride. Black bitch that I am, mule of the earth. Imagine what this mouth could do for you if you would only listen. Born of Southern gospel, this kind of love does not quit. Even when this country sucks on the marrow of my kin, weakens my spirit, I am here, loving desperately. My rage comes from a place of intimacy tucked tight inside my cheek in case I ever need to reach it right quick. This tongue is acrobatic. Do not come for me unless you are summoned. Listen. If I say that I love you, you will know, loudly. My anger keeps me safe, reminds my loved ones that there is nothing in this world that can rip us apart, and if they come for us, no. When they come to pull us from one another, it will be my rage that reunites our devoted hearts and returns me to you endlessly. My dear, look at me and all the vengeful gods that burst from my skin, the only language afforded to me in light of all this brown skin baggage. I raise my voice like I raise my fist, in solidarity, in community, in trust that you have enough wisdom to tell the difference.
It's applause. Give it up for Ashia. Woo! All right. So, judges, last time y'all send your scores to Tino, and the last poet, Ali, got a 29.6. Give it up for the poet and not the scores. All right. While we're waiting for Tino to tabulate the scores and see who the fuck won, I got some things to tell you. These poets were not just competing for fame. They were competing for fortune. So we have a cash prize of $50 that we are giving to first place. So that's what the winner's gonna get. While we're waiting to see who wins that money, some things. First, check out Bay Poets Unite. A few of the poets who competed tonight, like Reggie, Ashia, one of our judges, Prophet, Tino, one of our sacrifices, myself, and other folks who are in the Bay Area community all have videos up there. So if you like anything that you heard, subscribe to their YouTube channel. I'd like to give a special shout out to them. They just hit a milestone and got their first 100 subscribers, which is really, really big for a small channel. So help them keep growing, help the community keep growing, help the folks that you like to see be seen by others. And if you want to see us in person, also, donate to us on Patreon. Patreon allows you to donate to us on a monthly basis, allows us to do things like keep our venues running, sponsor poets to come into the slam for free.
Donate and stay your ass at home, and we'll be back as soon as possible.
Exactly. Right now, we're looking for two specific levels. You can donate from as low as $2 a month to as up to $100 a month. We're looking for specifically people to join at $7 a month. If we can get 30 people to donate $7 a month, we can let everybody, all of our poets and performers in for free when we start having in-person events. We are also looking for support for people to donate $100 a month. That money goes specifically to support the Alan Buford Center for Justice, which is one of the venues that we run events at. They are really amazing community space. And especially right now, they need all the support that they can get. So definitely check us out at patreon.com/richoakevents. Tino, where's my scores?
Donations are tax deductible, by the way.
Oh, I see them.
Yeah, all of these donations are tax
Yes,
deductible.
we are fiscally sponsored by 501c3. So your donations are tax deductible. Why give your money to the government when you can give it to people who hate the government? It's great. All right. So without further ado, in third place, let me get a virtual drum roll. With a total score of a 56.2 out of a maximum of 60. Give it up for Ali. Woo! Is there anything you would like to say to the camera? Anywhere we can plug you? Anywhere they can find your work?
Oh yeah, I have a book. You can find me on Instagram, and you can pay me, and then I will send you said book. You can find me mostly with Legendary Collective, which I organize with them. We do word search on Mondays from 6 to 8 when our workshop is at 5:30. Yeah, that's where you can find me.
Nice. All right, give it up one more time for Ali. And yeah, definitely check out Word Church. Word Church is the only reason I'm ever in Santa Cruz. Even when my old job had me occasionally working in Santa Cruz, I would make sure they scheduled me to work there on a Monday so I could hit Santa Cruz because I wanted to be out there if it wasn't for Word Church. Also, the first place I ever featured. So a lot of love for the Santa Cruz homies. All right. But in second place, I need another drum roll. With a total score of 57.5 out of a possible score of 60. Give maximum love to Reggie. Woo!
Thank you. That's weed money. So, thank you for supporting essential businesses and essential medicine. I also help organize the Berkeley Poetry Slam. We're having a slam tomorrow. Definitely sign up. We can put the link to the Google form somewhere in the Chattermerjig. What else am I thinking of? What?
What's a Chattermerjig?
A Chattermerjig? A chat. Damn. Like you understand what I'm saying? Shit. Always asking Black folks what we mean. You heard me.
Dave.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's been great. Come back next time. Sign up again. I'd love to see everybody's beautiful faces.
Yes. All right, give one more good round of applause for Reggie. Woo! Audience applause. I guess I guess that's a little bit anticlimactic because they were just flashed on the screen. But give maximum love to our winner with a total of a 59.4 out of 60. Give it up for Achia.
Gang.
Yay. I don't know. Follow me on Instagram. Currently not selling chapbooks, but I'll welcome tips. Also welcome workshop opportunities. I lead workshops on Black eco poetry specifically. So hit me up about doing anything about that in that regard. Always a pleasure. This, connects me to the outside, which I need a lot of right now. So it's awesome. Yeah, just being here and sharing poetry with y'all.
How do we follow you? How do we follow you? What's your handle?
Oh, I'll put my my Instagram into the chat. This is also the link to my Twitter. If you want to see me talk about poetry, kind of, but mostly just complain about white heteropatriarchal capitalism too.
Talk your shit.
Yeah. Is there any other reason to use Twitter except talking shit?
Exactly.
Shout out to that was a great day.
Yeah, that's what I got to say.
Give one more round of applause to Ashia, our winner. Ashia, if you could send privately Reggie, or send it to me. Send me whether you prefer Venmo or Cash App and what that is, so we can get you your prize money. But without further ado, we have come to the end of our show. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Thank you to all our poets. Thank you to all our judges. Y'all had the hardest job up in here. Thank you to all of our patrons. Thank you to all our soon-to-be patrons. Yes, I'm looking at each and every one of you on the other side of the screen right now. You finna be a patron. I know it. And you know what? I can't see you, but I know your face. So when I see you in public, I'm gonna know if you subscribe to our Patreon. And if you didn't, we got problems. The solution is subscribing. So, but if you want to see more poetry, check out the Berkeley Slam. They're having a show tomorrow, so check them out at the Berkeley Slam. Check out Rich Oak Alchemy. Check out the Legendary Collective. Check out, and if you know of any shows, share them to us so that we can shout them out too. We're always trying to find more ways to engage with the community. Like Ashia said, we just trying to find human connection. I just want to do hood red shit with my friends. But until then, we have these Zoom meetings. And until next time, I've been Colin. This has been the Oakland Slam. See y'all later.